these days, with what you see, with that, as you brought up, you can see the governments are taking assets from other people that are legitimately earned, and governments are just taking them away and say, okay, too bad for you. And it's hard to get those assets back when it happens. And it is forcing many people to reconsider having assets in US dollars. Again, I don't like saying it, but I can see it happening. And what we all need to be doing is figuring out, okay, what's the next currency? I don't know. If people get knowledgeable, they will start getting worried about what's going on. The more you know about the world in 2024, 23, 24, the more worried you're going to get. I assure you, the more you know, the more worried you're going to be. But if you get worried, then you get prepared. And if you're prepared, you might do very, very well, no matter what hits you. And by being prepared, do not listen to hot tips. One of the first things I learned in investing was do not listen to hot tips. Hot tips will bankrupt you. I mean, everybody wants a hot tip. Everybody wants to be rich this month. But I assure you, please stay away from hot tips. Invest in what you yourself know a lot about and you yourself understand. And then when something goes wrong, you'll know what to do. If I told you to buy something, you wouldn't know what to do. You wouldn't know what to do if it went up, and you wouldn't know what to do if it went down. You don't know why you own it in the first place. So my advice to everybody is stay with what you know, and then you will probably become a successful investor. But you have to know a lot about the world, especially in 2024, 25, because there are a lot of strange things happening, and it's not going to be fun for a lot of us. I hope I survive. I hope we all survive. But I do want to emphasize again, Roger, we've had bear markets since the beginning of time. And so people need to understand, you said, what am I doing? I am constantly looking at the world, partly because I'm fascinated by the world, but partly because I want to find new places. There's always some place going up, and there's always some place going down, whether it's a company or a country or a family, no matter what. So I am constantly looking for. I bought some shares in Uzbekistan recently because I hope I see dramatic positive changes taking place in Uzbekistan. And it's not a big market, but it's a new market, which makes it even more interesting and exciting for me because there's not a lot of people there yet. That's mainly what I'm doing these days, looking for currencies and other markets, because I mean the U.S. market's near an all-time high. Many markets are near all-time highs. I prefer buying things that are in distress. I would be buying Russia right now. Right. I have learned that when you buy a country at war or civil war, if you have staying power, you usually are going to make a great success. Well, I cannot invest in Russia right now. I can't, in Venezuela, Iran, there are other countries. I'd love to be doing something in Venezuela. I'd love to be doing something in Iran, but I cannot because I'm an American citizen.
Yes.
You know, Roger, I'm a citizen of the land of the free. I'm afraid we're not so free like we used to be. Investing in disaster is often a good way to go. Well, education is extremely important. I mean, education is what yanked me out of the backwoods of Alabama and got me wherever I am and wherever I'm going. So I cannot believe how big a supporter of education I am in all aspects. So please keep doing what you're doing. And I hope everybody realizes how important education is and supports it. This all started with, since I never had these children, I kept thinking of things I wanted to make sure they knew when they were adults. And so that's how the Book of Oz. Somebody said, why don't you make it a book? So I wrote it down of lessons. It's obviously not for children. A 9-year-old probably would not understand much of what's in the book. It's a book for grown-ups. But it's certainly something that I hope that my children, when they're 28 or whatever, will read and understand and get something from. This war, talking about Ukraine and Russia, one of the things it's doing, unfortunately, for us as an American, it's many countries are looking for something to compete with the US dollar as a world's reserve currency for many reasons. One, the US is the largest debtor nation in the history of the world. Nobody has ever had this much debt. And the world's reserve currency is supposed to be neutral. You're supposed to be using it for anything you want. Anybody can. But now, unfortunately, Washington has started playing different. If they get mad at you, they cut you off. They put on sanctions. And so many people, even America's friends, are starting to say, wait a minute, that's not the way it's supposed to work. So they are looking for something to compete with, if not replace the US dollar.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race, you're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Markus Dahn, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Markus Dahn.